Good day, everyone. Philippine National Police Operational Procedures Rule 9, 10, 11, and 12. Patrol Procedures 9.1 Patrol Guidelines 9.2 Duty of Patrol Superiors 9.3 Duty of Patrol Officers and 9.4 Guidelines and Procedures when responding to calls for patrol assistance. Spot check, assisting, and pat-down search. Rule 10.1 Grounds for spot check search. Rule point 2 Procedures and Guidelines. Rule point 3 Reporting after the spot checks, assisting, or pat-down search. And Rule 11 Checkpoint 11.1 Authority to establish checkpoint 11.2 Composition 11.3 Guidelines 11.4 Procedure in conduct of regular police checkpoint 11.5 Procedure in conduct of on-the-spot ASDIC checkpoint 11.6 General procedure to be followed when checkpoint are ignored 11.7 Procedure in flagging down or assisting vessel within mobile car 11.8 Delaying when hostile situations and 11.9 High-risk stop and high-risk arrest. And last one, 11.10 Police defensive roadblock. And Rule 12 Internal Security Operations General Mandate, the PNP Inactive Support Rule, and last one, Defensive Positions. Rule 9 Patrol Procedures 9.1 Patrol Guidelines A. Observes precautionary measures and personal safety while on patrol. B. Observe defensive driving and follow traffic rules and regulations. It's not case that when I conduct a patrol, I will be more violent. C. Select routes with provide best visibility. Make sure when you select routes, people should be able to see you. D. Patrol members must be always on lookout for indications of vessels and another illegal activities on their beat. So you will make sure as a patrol members that is also one of the lookout that you must be able to control the prevent versus vicious or illegal activity for happening on your beat or in your area. So patrol members must be knowledgeable of conditions, events, and details of place on your beats. F. Be observes of people, place, situation, or conditions and develop a suspicious attitude, especially if the subject appears to be slightly out or the ordinary. G. Keep under close observation actions of juveniles, troublemakers, agitators, and the mental ill retreated person. H. Be familiar as much as possible with no criminals, ex-convicts residing in or frequenting the patrol beat. I. Be familiar with stay in employ of business established on your beat for the reasons that you become familiar in different place and become a business established among you. J. Be on the alert for lotteries. It means be alert for lottery. K. Keep watching on uninhabited homes. Most like the inhabited areas where they are no longer inhabited, they are making a fool of themselves. L. Observes the practice of shaking door of ungrounded business established during night patrol. Check for sign of instructions. Establish good rapport with the people you repeat and develop contact by getting to know as many people as possible who can give factual information about crime condition on patrol beat. O. Use tact and preserve when conducting spot inquiry or questioning individual form information. P. When requiring identification from a suspicious person or any individual. Avoid taking the wallet or bag in which card documents are placed. Let the individual remove the hand them to you. Q. When checking suspicious person, place, buildings, establishments, and vessels, especially during nighttime. Be prepared to use your service firearms. Flashlight should be held tightly away from the body to avoid making you possible target. And our patrol members should avoid loitering in trees, restaurants, and another recreation place. 9.2 Duty or Patrol Superior. A. In any operation, carefully planning is the most in order to avoid waste of time, effort, and resource. Make a patrol plan with following details. Make a patrol plan so it's necessary when we conduct an anytime per operations, we need to plan first. It's not like you're going to a place without plan. It's just wasting time. And if you do not operation and have plan, you are avoiding to waste the time and your effort resource. Actually, following details: 1. Area converge, safety haven, ambush areas, and crime-prone areas. 2. Organizations detail or personnel. 3. Durations. 4. Standby point, and 5. Route plan. Design and select member of patrol teams. C. Inspect the members of patrol for complete of uniforms, operational readiness, and all government issue equipment, firearms, mobile, car, radio, etc. to ensure that are well and maintained and properly used by the patrol office. D. Conduct briefing prior to dispatch by disseminating any order, directive, or instructions from the chief of police or higher authorities and new policy or guidelines being implemented by the PNP organizations. E. Remind patrol team about the strict observance of the PNP operational procedures. F. Strictly observes body system during patrol operations. G. Render early report of location and situation thought, radio, telephone, cell phone to police community presence, PCP, stations, headquarters, Tactical Operations Center, TOS. Also H. Render after patrol report duties signed by detailed personnel, PCP. Commander should collect and submit significant details to the station's patrol superiors, who in turn will submit the same to the provincial district patrol superior. And I. Conduct the briefing after the patrol to assess its conduct and make necessary corrective measures on defect notes. Duty of patrol officers. A. Attend the roll call formations before his tour of duty for briefing, and likewise attend the after tour of duty formation for briefing. B. Patrol the assigned beat, observe and check suspicions, people, structure, buildings, compound, and vessels. C. Observe and monitor public gathering prevent disorder and displace unlawful assembles. D. Inspect and or conduct surveillance in various business established and other installments and remove hazard to public safety. E. Check suspicious vessel, private, public, or commercial delivery vessels along the main roads, highways in the course of their patrols. F. Report occurrence and conditions which relate to crime, public peace, order, and safety. G. Prevent crime and arrest sign law violations, assuring the public that peace is preserved. H. Conduct regular visitations, dialogues, consolations with the resident and another stakeholders. I. Assign personnel of responsible agency unit in facilitating the flow of the traffic at business intersections. Rounds within his area of responsibility. AOR assigns, assist, and provide pedestrian information such as directions and street locations. G. Enforce city municipal ordinance on required establishments and nightclubs, cabarets, and all house or ill report. K. Respond to calls, entertain complaint, initiate the investigations and productions of scenes and minimize the after effect of accidents, fire and another caterpillars. L. Patrol officers should wear the prescribed patrol uniform and M. Patrol officers must have equipment necessary in the performance of or their duty. 9.4 Guideline and procedures when respond to call for police assistance. A. Diary and note down in patrol officers' logbook all available data as to the nature of the call, the date, time, and name of the caller. It may be regular, urgent, or emergency in natures. B. The manner of approach will be dependent on the nature of the call, either with hash or secrecy or with or without flashlight and sirens. C. Consider the pertinent factor like the time, traffic conditions, the possibility of creating damage, and the neighborhood characteristics. D. Spot the patrol car some distance for the scenes. E. Approach the scenes foot in complete silence and exercise extreme caution. F. Immediately attend to the injury unless the another members of the patrol are in immediate dangers. G. Focus all efforts to arrest criminals whose property should be given to aiding the injured. H. Determine the crime committed, identify and question briefly the victim, complainant, and possible witness at the scene. I. If the suspect or criminal have laid the scenes before the arrival of the patrol team, immediately relay the compositions, remaining appearance, and mode and directions of escape of the suspect to the operations center for conduct of dragnet operations. J. When responding to street fight brawls, the patrol member should call for backup before entering. If there are no injuries and suspicious corrupt preventive statements obtained to identify who started the fight. Express the crowd and make complete notes. K. Never treat call or complainant of loud, noisy caused by barking dogs, drunk appliance, and parties as negligible, or since they only need courteous and tactful interventions and not enforcement actions. L. When responding to calls for a police assistance due to plant or found explosive, never attempt to handle, move, or lift the object. Instead, contact Operations Center a request for explosive ordnance disposal. TMEOT onlookers must be properly lead to safety distance away from the scenes. Refer to Rule 34. M. When responding to calls from owner of beer house, bar or inn or any other similar establishment during any time, request the owner to put the light on first before enter the establishment, and do not attempt to arbitrate the resolve conflict difference between neighbor, landlord, tenant, husband, and wife. Rule 10. Spot check, accosting, and pat-down search. Grounds for the spot check search. Spot check accosting. The police officer may stop an individual for the purpose of conducting a spot accosting only when reasonable suspicions exist. Reasonable suspicions must be more than just a hunch or feeling. In justifying the stop, the police officers must be able to point the specific fact that, when taken together with the rational inference, reasonable warrant the stop. So, bali, appearance, demeanor, or action suggests that he or she may be engaged in some criminal activity if the hour or day or night in whatever is inappropriate for his presence in area, for his her presence in the neighbor is inappropriate. Such facts include but are not limited to follow. Number 1. The appearance or demeanor of the individual suggests that he is a part of a criminal enterprise or is engaged in criminal act. Number 2. The actions of the individual suggest that he is engaged in criminal activity. Number 3. Questionable presence of the individual in the area. Number 4. The subject is carrying a suspicious object. Also, number 5. The suspect clothing bulges in a manner that suggests he is carrying a weapon. Number 6. The suspect has been found in the time and place proximate to an alleged crime. Number 7. The police officers has knowledge of the suspect prior criminal record or involvement in a criminal activity. And also, number 8. The individual feels at the sight of a police officer. Next, 10.1 Grounds for spot check search. B. Body fix pat-down search. A police officer has the right to perform a pat-down search if the individual has been legitimately stopped with reasonable suspicions, and when the police officer has reasons to believe that individual possesses weapons on his person and possesses a threat to the police officers or another person's safety. It means, what is fix? Is a fix is a search of a person outer clothing wherein a person runs their hands along the outer garment of another to detect and concealed weapon or objects. What is the pat-down search? A search pat-down search or conduct in the persons for weapons or dangerous item. So, circumstance which may justifying pat-down search. Number 1, the type of crime believed to be committed by the subjects, particularly crime of violence where the threat of use or use of deadly weapon is involved. Number 2, where the police officers handles several suspects. Number 3, the time of the day and the locations where the pat-down search took place. And number 4, prior knowledge by the police officers of the suspect, use of force and or propensity to carry deadly weapons. Number 5, the appearance and the demeanor of the suspect. Number 6, visual indication suggesting that the suspect is carrying a firearm or another deadly weapon. And 7, whenever possible, pat-down search should be performed by police officers of the same gender. Okay, 10.2 procedures and guidelines. Spot check accostings. Number 1, when approaching the individual, the police officer should clearly identify himself as a police officer. If not in uniform, the police officers must identify him by announcing his identity and displaying official identification card and or bandage. So, number 2, police officers should be courteous at all time but maintain caution and remain vigilant for suspicions. Movement like attempting to retrieve the weapon, concealing or discard contraband or another similar actions. Number 3, before approaching more than one individual, police officers should determine whether the circumstance warrant a request for backup and whether the spot check accosting can and should be delaying until SAC background arrives. Number 4, police officers should confine their questions as to the person identity, place or of residence and another inquiries necessary to resolve the police officer's suspicions. However, in no instance shall be a police officer hold a person longer than the period reasonable necessary to be able to make these limited inquiries and to resolve suspicions. So, number 5, police officers are not required to inform the person of his rights under the law. Miranda warning, anti-torture law, etc., unless the person is placed under arrest. Body freaks pat-down search. When reasonable suspicions justifies a pat-down search, the search should be performed with due caution, restraint, and sensitive. Pat-down search should be conducted in the following manners. Whenever possible, pat-down search should be conducted by at least 2 police officers. One perform the search while the another provide protective cover. Because that pat-down search are cursory in nature, they should be performed with the suspect in standing positions or with hands placed against the stationary objects and feet spread apart. However, should an officer visual observes a weapon A more secure search position may be used like the prone, lying face down position. Number 3. In a pat-down search, officers are permitted only to feel the outer clothing of the suspect. Police officers may not place their hands inside the pocket of the subject's clothing unless they feel an object that could probably be a weapon, such as a gun, knife, club, or like. Number 4. If the suspect is carrying an object such as a handbag, suitcase, briefcase, sack, or another similar item that conceal the weapon, the police officer should not open the item but instead it in place out of the suspect reach. Number 5. If the external padding of the suspect clothing fails to disclose evidence of a weapon, no further search may be made if a weapon is found and possessions of which amounts to violations of the law. The police officers should arrest the suspect and conduct a complete search of his person. Okay, next. Reporting after the spot check, accosting, or pat-down search. If after conducting a spot check, accosting, or pat-down search, the police officer has no basis for making an arrest, he should record the fact of sack spot check, accosting, or pat-down search and forward a report to the appropriate authority. If the spot check, accosting, or pat-down search gives a justifying caution for the valid warrantless arrest, then an arrest should be made. Okay. Rule 11, checkpoints. 11.1 authorities to establish checkpoints. Checkpoint is a place where the police check vehicular pedestrian traffic in order to enforce circulations, countermeasure, and another law, orders, and regulations that establish a checkpoint must always be authorized by the head of office of the territorial PNP unit and made by uniform PNP personnel other unit directly involved in an operations may establish mobile checkpoints in coordination with the unit commander in the area. So, traffic safety checkpoints are an effective strategy to get dangerous off the road. They are a great way to locate, drive those who are drunk, drugs, drowsy, or distracted. Checkpoints are also good way to identify and apprehend drives who are unlicensed and those with suspend driver's license. So, when sa so what is the meaning of checkpoint in the PNP? A checkpoint in the Philippines refer to the police officers or police check the vehicular or pedestrian traffic enforcement, circumstance control measure, and another law, order, and regulations. Also, 11.2 composition. In the conduct of checkpoint, the checkpoint team shall be composed of but not limited to the follow. Team leader shall lead and take responsibility in the conduct of checkpoint, preferable an officer with the rank of at least police inspections. Team leader provides guide and instructions to working group about a project. They are in charge of delegating work, overseeing process, work goals, and coaching team members as needed. Spooter. PNP personnel who will point profile suspected vessels subject for the checkpoint. Sabi, someone who watch a place looking for someone or something special in order to warn people. Organized race have become harder to catch with spectators monitor police radios, spotters post down the road watching for the patrol cars. Spoken person. TL or member who is in charge of communications with the motorized subject for checkpoint. Um, a person who is choosing to speak officially for the group or organization. A spoken person for a airline said that flight will run as scheduled compare representative none. So, investigation sub-team in charge of investigations and documentations of possible incidents in the checkpoint to include assurance of traffic citations, ticket, TCT, or traffic violations report, TVR. A search arresting subject team designated to conduct search, secure, and arrest if necessary. F. Security sub-team tasked to provide security in the checkpoint area. And G. Blocking pursuing to sub-team team stacks to block pursue fleeing suspects vessels. Also, 11.3 guidelines. A. Mobile checkpoints are authorized only when established in conjunction with ongoing police operations. Only officially marked vessels with blinkers turned on, if available, should be used in established mobile checkpoint. B. Checkpoints are established to enforce circulations, control measures, law, orders, and regulations, and when there is a need to arrest a criminal or fugitive from justice. Also, C. The compositions of personnel manning. The checkpoint should be left to sound discretions of the team leader, TL, with the considerations of female PNP officers in team, especially when there is an anticipated female suspect. D. The minimum police checkpoint team should at least be composed of an 8-man complement with their very first one spotter, one TL, one profiler, one rear security, and one advanced security. E. Team The team manning checkpoints must have imminent contact with the LGUS public attorney's office, PAU, or any member of the Philippine Bar and or the media for drug case. The team should encourage the participant of but not limited to the local government units, LGUS, civil society group, non-government organization, NGOs, business organizations, other civic group, media, and other stakeholders during the conduct of the police checkpoint operations. The participant of civilians and the presence of the media in the conduct of the checkpoint must be confined only as observed to give police additional eye and promote transparency of activity in the area. All civic groups or organizations to include the media who are inclined to participate in police checkpoint must be duty registered and created by the PNP for such purpose. The gradations of the civilian crews to join in the conduct of checkpoint should be administered by the police regional and provincial officers. PNP personnel manning the checkpoint must have a presentable appearance wearing the prescribed PNP uniform. Likewise, the civilian members must also be in their organization's uniform with their names conspicuously displayed for identifications. In no case should the vessel civilian component be allowed to be verified armed during the checkpoint. In Metro Manila and another major cities, police officers manning the checkpoint should not wear fire service uniform FSU or black fatigue in lieu of the PNP General Office attire unless the conduct of checkpoint is a result of hats pursuit operation or high risk checkpoint. The use of mixed uniform, GOA, FSU, black footage, and the conduct of checkpoint is strictly prohibited. As much as possible, the area where the checkpoint should be established must be properly lighted, with noticeable sign bearing the name of the PNP unit and the participating organization visibly displayed in the checkpoint site to prevent any apprehension from the public of existence of the same. Though a courtesy must be accorded to motors, trade, and the commuters during the conduct of checkpoints. The spokespersons must create the people subjects for inspection, extend apology for the inconvenience, apply for understanding, and state the reasons of the operations upon complimentation that persons search. Except in the actual commissions of crime during a checkpoint or in hot pursuit operations, the conduct on inspections of vessels during a routine checkpoint is limited to visual search and therefore must be done with due respect to innocent passerby, commuters, or bystanders, and be conducted in a manner that is of less inconvenience to the public. Violation infractions of the law discovered during the checkpoints operation shall be expeditiously disposed of following legal procedures. Arrest persons must be apprised of their right with respect to the Miranda Doctrine, and most especially that of the civilians participants in the checkpoint operations must be given due considerations in the planning of operations. Only the security sub-team and blocking pursuit sub-team members are allowed to display high-power firearms should be positions where they can be provide security to the checkpoint team, including themselves. Checkpoint personnel must not limit their tasks to law enforcement and crime deterrence. They should also be ready to provide police assistance in recent e.g. given directions to inquiring motorists or passersby. The PNP operating unit must be provide their own logistical and financial requirements to avoid soliciting support from the civilians for their personal or operational needs. Police personnel assigned in the checkpoint should not mulct, extort, or harass drivers, passengers, and trades. Design TL assigned at the checkpoint should be responsible for the actuations and behavior of his personnel and should be accountable under the doctrine of command responsibility. Voluntary offers of cash or in-kind from the trades motorists passing the checkpoint should be absolutely refused because the offer may be misconstrued as a bribe. The police and the civilians component must separately submit their after checkpoint operation report to their respective unit or organization for proper evaluation of efficacy of operations. Unit commander should inform higher headquarters HHQS Tactical Operations Center TOC and coordinate with adjacent units such as MPC, CPS, and SUs as Public Safety Company Force and other friendly force personnel are taught an official representative before commencing with the checkpoint to avoid misencounter and any untoward undesired. Shall be well ill and have proper and visible signage. Uniform office mode signal you to slow down and move to side of the road. They should politely ask you turn off your motorcycle engage. Remove your helmet and show your motorcycle OR or ORCR only visual search required. The TL should brief the PNP personnel as well as a civilian components present, including the media regarding the proper conduct of the checkpoint and their assigned task proof to their development. The TL should initial account for the PNP personnel and check if they are in the prescribed uniform. PNP personnel conducting the checkpoint shall display their nameplates at all times. If wearing a jacket, the flap of jacket bearing their name should also be displayed likewise. The equipment will include but not limited to the following: 1. Marked patrol vessels. 2. Firearm with basic load of ammunition. 3. Handheld and vessels-based radios. 4. Flashlight. 5. Megaphone. 6. Video camera. And 7. Signal a warning sign. Slow down checkpoint ahead. Checkpoint 20 meter ahead. etc. And B. Information sign. Name of the unit. And TL. The spotter of the team will pre-positions in a place where he can best point profile suspect vessel prior to their approach to the checkpoint. Search arresting sub-team should flag down suspected vessel and conduct search, secure, and arrest if necessary. In the event of seized drugs, the team having initial custody and control of the drugs should immediately conduct physical inventory and photograph the same in the presence of the cause or the person from whom such items were confiscated and are seized, or his here representative or conceal representative representative from the media, and DOG any elected public official who shall be required to sign the copy of the inventory and be given a copy thereof. Arrested person assigned item should be turned over to the investigation sub team for documentations and proper disposition in the event that checkpoint is ignored and the occupants of the vessels open fire on the personnel manning the checkpoint. Reasonable force to overcome the suspect aggression may be employed. Inform higher headquarters before terminating the conduct of the checkpoint. The TL should conduct debriefing of personnel after termination of the checkpoint, and unit commander should be submit after activity report to higher headquarters. 11.5 Procedure in the conduct of on the spot as the checkpoints. PNP personnel conducting mobile patrol on board patrol vessels while initial man the checkpoint to be complemented by additional personnel upon arrival of reinforcement. Collapsible signage with markings stop police checkpoint if available, indicating also the name of the concerned police officer unit conducting the operation will be used for the purpose. It is an imminent response to block the escape of lowest element from the crime scenes and is also established when nearby checkpoints are ignored or during hot sparse operations. B. I'm the case of PNP personnel conducting internal security operation ISO or foot patrol where a vessel collapsible insignia is not readily available. The checkpoint should be made initial by the said personnel. The team should immediately inform higher headquarters of the exact location of the hostile checkpoint, including personnel involved and available equipment. In a hostile checkpoint, where there is a possibility of high-risk stop and high-risk arrest, and there is an urgency for trap development and the public safety might be at risk. The participation of the civilian component and the presence of the media in the checkpoint operation should not be allowed. The unit commander of personnel manning the hasty checkpoint should immediately send additional personnel equipment and signage toward the area in order to convert the hasty checkpoint into a regular checkpoint, and as soon as the hasty checkpoint is converted into a regular checkpoint, TL should follow the procedures under 11.4 of this rule. 11.6 General procedures to be followed when checkpoints are ignored. If the checkpoint is ignored and or the motors bump the signage in an attempt to include arrest or avoid inspections, the team should pursue the fleeing motors and immediately inform the enhanced unit about the situations and available descriptions of the vessels and passengers to establish hasty defensive. When checkpoints are ignored, the following should be observed. A. In the event that checkpoint roadblock are ignored, the motor's suspect pump the roadblock in attempt to include or arrest or avoid inspections. The TL should immediately contact assistant unit to inform them of the situation so that these units can conduct net operations or police defensive roadblock, while the member of the block pursuit team should be block or pursue the errant fleeing motorist. Warning shots should be not be able to the confusions it may create for the driver and passengers of the vessels. Megaphone or police siren should be used instead during the pursuit. The plate number of vessel should be noted and given to the another unit in adjacent areas to prevent the possibility that the vessel may include the pursuit operations. And in the event that occupational of the vessel open fire on the personnel manning the checkpoint, reasonable force to overcome the suspect aggressions may be employed. 11.7 Procedure in flagging down or accosting vessels while in a mobile car. This rule is general concept and will not apply it hot pursuit operations. The mobile car crew should undertake the following when applicable. Call headquarters to provide information on the make or type and plate number of the motor vessels to be accosted and, if possible, identity of occupants. State the reasons for the planned interventions of suspect motor vessels. Give the mobile car locations and its directions before making actual interventions. Try to get alongside the suspect vessel and checkpoint occupations without alarming them of purpose. You can even overtake the vessel and wait for it at an advantageous location before stopping the suspect vessel. Determine whether the suspect are hostile or not. Make known that the suspect that you are after them through the use of the siren of Megaphone. Instruct the driver to put over or stop on the side of the road. Park behind the suspect vessels at appreciable distance and cautiously approach the vessel on the driver's side. If the vessel windows are heavily tinted and the occupants cannot be seen, instruct the driver to open all windows to have clear view of the interior of the vessels. Instruct the driver to turn off the ignitions if this was not done when the vessel stopped. In case of motorcycle, instruct the driver to remove the key and disembark. The other members of the team must be on guard for any eventuality while the vessel is being approached. Talk to the driver in a most courteous manner. Inform him of the nature of these violations. Demand to see driver license, photocopies of the certificate of registrations, and the official receipt. Examine DS document and counter check the driver on the information reflected therein. If in concern traffic in violation, immediately issue a traffic citations ticket (TCST) or traffic violation report (TVR). Never include in provide unnecessary conversations or agreement with the driver or any of vessel occupants. In case of the another violations that require the impounding of the vessel, inform the driver regarding these situations and instruct him to follow you after issuing the TCT, TVRN. Before moving out, inform headquarters regarding those situations uh, and dispositions of the person and motor vehicle accost. 11.8 Dealing with hostile situations. If you are serious about the political cause you believe in, you will be hostile to any suggestion that the other side of the argument is reasonable. Hostile comes from Latin word hostic for enemy, and you can hear it relations to the word hostage. The following are the procedures to be followed in dealing with hostile drives. Stopping vessels. 1. Follow the procedures stated in paragraph 2C of Rule 11.7. 2. Immediately request for backup. 3. Follow the suspect and always keep him without visual range. Expect that the suspect will notice your actions at any time. Be prepared for the hot burst or actual hostile confrontations. 5. If the backup is already in the vicinity, inform headquarters that you are proceeding to accost the suspect. 6. Inform the suspect that you are after them through the use of siren or megaphone and instruct the driver to pull over or stop on the side of the street. 7. Park at an approach distance behind the suspect vessels. 8. While the vessel is being approached, the other member of the crew back up must be a guard for any eventually overreactions or aggressions on the part of the police should be avoided. Park at an approach distance behind the suspect vessel. While the vessel is being approached, the another member of the crew and back up must be a guard for any eventually overreaction or aggression on the part of the police should be avoided. If the vessel's windows are heavily tinted and occupants cannot be seen, instruct the driver to open all windows for a clear view of the vessel interior. Direct the driver and another occupants of the vessel not to make an unnecessary movement and to show their hands after the cars. Instruct the driver to turn off the ignitions and toss the key to the ground. Demand to see the driver license and photocopies of the vessel's certificate of registrations and then official receipt. Examining the document and counter-check the driver on the information reflected therein. If there are another suspect aside from the driver, separate from one another. B. Fleeing vessel. In the event that the motor vessel did not stop despite the warning given, inform headquarters or enhanced units so dragnet operations or police defensive roadblock can be set up. Inform headquarters of the make or type, plate number, and color of the motor vessel to be constant, including the number of occupants and, if possible, their identity. State the reason for blocking down the suspect motor vessel. Give mobile cars location in each direction before making actual intervention. When the vessel of suspect is concerned, of stop, instruct the driver and another occupant in a clear and commanding voice to follow specifically what you will require of them, following all their part executive instructions on the use of reasonable force. Instruction the driver to turn off the ignitions, then toss the key the ground, open the door, and set up on the vessels. Well, then instruct him to place his hands on top of vessels or to move toward you with his hands up. Instructions on other occupants of the vessels, if any, to come out one by one and follow what drive has been instructed to do early. Arrest, handcuff, and search the suspect and bring them to headquarters for proper discussions. And before moving out, inform headquarters about the situation, status, and dispositions of the suspect and motor vessel accosted. 11.9 High risk stop and high risk arrest. Initial stage. Upon receipt of information involving a movement of armed persons or persons, either singly or in group, including unauthorized movement of government troops or intimate response to reported commission of the crime perpetrated by armed person, the PNP shall be immediately say produced for stopping vessel, drive by potentially dangerous suspect including motorcycle gangs or dramatized in flame for police go. The initial scenes show the death of two police officers resulting from unsafe tactic used in stopping a car driven by probably suspect. Safety procedures for stopping the suspect involve the patrol officer contact the backup officers and then follow the suspect at a safe distance, at least for the car left behind. Another procedures that should be followed include select an advantageous locations for stop, using short warning brought on the horn, and turning on the light and public address system. 1. Organize appropriate tactical security force utilizing maximum firepower and armor access. 2. Deploy the security force to stop zone in defensive positions. And 3. Sell off the area and establish strong roadblock barricades. Effecting a high-risk stop. When effecting high-risk stop, the police officer should exert utmost effort to halt or stop their movement. Number 2, start with the procedural conduct of regular warrantless arrest where arrest is inevitable. 3. Ensure proper documentation of the process. 4. Respect the right of all persons involved. 11.10 Police Defense Roadblock. Roadblocks have to ensure the vessels on the road network are roadworthy and that motorists are not driving under the influence of alcohol. So, police defensive roadblock is temporarily installed in or hastily built paradise set for halting traffic for to facilitate and apprehensions neutralizations of unharmed persons suspended on board a motor vessels. PNP Command Memorandum Circular Number 2513 Establishment of Police Defensive Roadblock. Precondition establishing police defensive roadblock. A police defense roadblock may be established in any of the following condition situations. The object vessels must be the subject of recent flash alarm. The driver occupants of the vessel are presumed hostile and will not stop at the checkpoint. The vessel discreet police established checkpoint when flagged down. The identified vessel and occupants must be the subject of a police case combat operational plan. There is unauthorized drop, movement, or there must be validated information on any of the following: ongoing hot pursuit, police case, movement of suspect armed person on board a motor vessel. C. Report of suspect armed men who have just committed a crime. D. Vessel carrying escaped prisoner. Or E. Armed motorcycle riding criminals. B. Procedure in established roadblock. A. Organize appropriate sovereign police tactical security force utilizing maximum firepower and armor assess, if any, with the following team compositions. Team leader TL shall lead and take responsibility in the conduct of roadblock primarily and officer with the rank at less police inspector. 2. Forward observes spotter, PNP personnel who will point profile suspect vessels subject for roadblock. 3. Spokespersons, TL or member who is solely encourage communicating with armed suspect on board on motor vessel subject for roadblock. Number 4. Sniper to render the vessel unoperational to avoid escape, to provide firepower support to neutralize armed and hostile suspect during firefight. Number 5. Investigation sub-team in charge of investigations and documentations of the roadblock. 6. Search arresting sub-team designed to conduct searches, and arrests. 7. Security sub-team tasked to provide security in a roadblock area and ensure exclusions of the vessels and civilians not subjects of roadblock. 8. Blocking forcing sub-teams tasked to block pursuit filling subjects' vessels. Number 9. Medical sub-team tasked to provide immediate medical assistance if necessary. 10. Additional tactical personnel team may be employed depending on the size of hassle. And 11. Videographer tasked to take videos of internal roadblock operation. B. The team leader TL shall brief the elements members of the police roadblock and perform the following. Number 1. Inform the next higher headquarters of the make or type and plate number of the motor vessel to be accosted, including the number and, if possible, identity of occupants. 2. State the reason for the plane interventions of the suspect motor vessels. 3. Give the exact location of the roadblock to include personnel involved, available equipment, and marked vessels. Number 4. Coordinations with the chief of police and friendly force who has territorial jurisdictions over the area. And 5. Immediately contact enhanced unit to inform them of situations that these units can conduct target operations, while member of the blocking pursuit team should block or pursue the fleeing suspect vessel. Participating personnel in the roadblock must be in their prescribed in uniform and D. In roadblocks since trap development it urgent and public safety it at risk the participations of civilian component and presence of the media in the roadblock should be not allowed. During the roadblock, A. Establish forward observes spotter and rear checkpoint. B. Deploy security force in strategy and defensive positions. C. Establish a strong roadblock on select strategies area. D. Deploy root sparks or tear deflation system if available. E. Ensure that wall interventions procedures is documented by the videographer. If as much possible, there are where the roadblock should be established must be properly light with noticeable CMI bearing the name of the PNP unit visible display and in a safety distance from the populated area to prevent collateral damage if a firefight ensues. G. Police car light must be turned on at all time during operations. H. Identify yourself wrong, name, unit verbally, and make known the suspect that you are after them. Thought the use of a siren or megaphone. I. If the vessel windows are heavily tinted and the occupant cannot be seen, instruct the driver to open all windows to have a clear view of the interior of the vessels. J. Instruct the driver to turn off the ignitions if this was not done when the vessel stopped, and order all occupants to disembark, followed by their hands to be placed on top of the vessels. K. The another member of the team must be on guard for any eventuality while the vessel is being approached. Interventions procedures upon stop of subject vessels exert utmost effect to pursue the suspects to halt or stop their movement. Start with procedural conduct or regular warrantless arrest where arrest is inevitable. Ensure proper documentations of the process and respect the right of all persons involved. Procedures when suspect open fire engage the traps. In the event that occupants of the vessels open fire on the personnel manning on the roadblock, reasonable force to overcome the suspect aggressions may be employed. Use only necessary force to neutralize suspect. Prevent panic. Prevent collateral damage and account for the casualty firing. After the roadblock. A. When suspects surrender or are arrested person must be apprised of the right in reference to Miranda Doctrine and IIN. After roadblock operations report must be submitted to their respective units or organization for proper evaluations of efficiency of the operations. B. When suspect engage with traps, 1. Account for the casualties and give immediate medical assistance to them. Number 2. Protect preserve the crime scenes engagement area, and 3. Ensure proper documentations of the process. C. Fleeing vessels. 1. In the event that the motor vessel did not stop at and it evaded the roadblock despite the warning given, inform headquarters or adjacent units so that another roadblock can be set up. Fueling vessels, excuse me po. Fueling vessels should not be fired upon the expect by a sniper but only to disable the vessels. 3. Inform headquarters of the make or type, plate number and color of the motor vessels to be accosted, including the number of occupants and, if possible, their identity. Number 4. State the reason for flagging down suspect motor vessel. Number 5. Give a mobile car location and its direction before making actual interventions. And 6. Establish hot pursuit operations. Rule 12. Internal security operations. What is internal security operations? Ang sabi po dito, refers to military and police operations to suppress insurgency and other serious threat to national security. ISO and development operations are the basic weapon of the government in counter-insurgency operations. Is defined as the type of operation and a system provided by the AFP to maintain and restore of established acclimate of order within which responsible government can function effectively and without which process can be achieved. Next, General Mandate. The PNP is mandated to provide active support to Armed Forces of the Philippines, AFP, Internal Security Operations, ISO, for the suppression of communist terrorist movement, STM, and another serious threat to national security. Executive Order Number 546, Series of 2006, directing the Philippines National Police to undertake active support to Armed Forces of the Philippines internal security operations for suppression of insurgency and other serious threat to national security, amending certain provisions of the Executive Order Number 110 Series of 1990 and for the other purpose. Ang sabi po, ang panloob ng seguridad ay pagkilos ng pagpapanatili ng kapayapaan sa loob ng mga hangganan ng isang soberano estado o ibang mapang mga teritoryong may sariling pamamahala sa pagkalahatan ng pamamagitan ng pagtataguyod pambansang batas at pagtatanggol laban sa mga banta sa panloob ng seguridad. So, ayun po. And next po tayo is the PNP in active support role. Okay. The PNP should perform the follow. A. Conduct sustained law enforcement actions against STM atrocities. B. In urban areas, the PNP may assume the lead role in ISO against the STM, other threat groups, and organized crimes groups engaged in armed offensive. C. The PNP unit may either operate as a single force or as a part of joint PNP AFP combat operations. In both cases, lateral conditions is a most. So D. The PNP units in STM affected areas may be placed under operations control OPCON of AFP units but should continue to perform law enforcement functions. C. Specific areas where armed confrontations such as encounter, ambush, raid, liquidations, and another similar atrocities occur between government force, PNP or AFP, and the communist terrorist SDS should be treated as crime scenes. The police unit that has jurisdictions over the area should conduct and crime scenes investigations as CSI. Okay. So next, defensive positions. Police stations, especially those located in far-flung areas, are property target of attack as such security measures against ST atrocities must be undertaken. So, ang sabi po sa defense positions, during law enforcement operations decreases the risk to office. The public and suspect and defensive position is the location from which an office can choose to reach an attack while simultaneously making use environment as a means of protections. So, as a follow defense positions, continuously remind all PNP personnel to be correct extra vigilance and security consequence in their day-to-day activities and during trap movement. B. Duty stations guard shall be memorized, internalized, and put into practice the 11 general order of the duty guard. And next day, likewise, they should always carry their issue firearms and ammunition rich bundle list with basic load. C. Vigorously implement added security measure in all police stations, and police community presence. So D. Conduct sustained suspicions of the operational readiness of PNP file unit stations. E. Always keep in mind the modus operandi, strategy, and tactics being employed by the STM and other threat groups. So F. Enhance the establish of advanced security control point ASSPS to control the ingress and egress of people in police stations. So G. One of the strategy and tactic employed by STM and other threat group to gain access to police stations is by wearing of PNP, AFP uniforms and that of other layers enhanced personnel assistance in advanced security control. Point should not allow entry of an uniform group of any individual without prior coordinations. H. Exercise sustains vigilance and maintains of the law, order the public safety in respective AOR throughout the intensive contact of police visibility patrol. I. Carry out police community relations PCR, barangay peacekeeping operations, BPO activity in areas that are prone to influence infiltrations and infestations of SMT front organizations.